I have now lost 36 pounds. I've struggled with Hashimoto's, depression, weight gain. Felt like I was really exhausting all of my options. Nothing was working. It was never getting me back to any sort of normal. And then that entire year was just a year of survival. I have just felt so much better. I've been feeling more energy, less inflammation. Overall, such a huge blessing. Hello and welcome back to the vlog. I wanted to share a little life update with you guys, and actually stay tuned for next week's video because Kyle and I are going to be sharing a super exciting, really big announcement. We've been working on this for a very long time and we're finally to the point of being able to share with you guys, so I cannot wait for that. But today, I just wanted to sit down with you guys and visit and chat and kind of share some things that have been going on in my life. If you have been here for a substantial amount of time, you know that I have really struggled with Hashimoto's over the past, gosh, time goes so fast. It started in 2018, so like 6 years. Oh my gosh, that's been a long time. But anyway, I've struggled with Hashimoto's, and if you're unfamiliar with what that is, it's an autoimmune disorder, basically where my body attacks my thyroid. It's very confused, I know. But with that, there comes a lot of different symptoms and side effects and things like that, such as depression, weight gain, makes you feel very tired. There are just so many things that come with it. So anyway, I will kind of give you like a quick little overview, kind of sped through it in case if you have missed some or you don't know kind of what happened. But so how it started was back in the very beginning of 2018, we moved from South Dakota to Utah. And right around that time, I gained 10 pounds within a matter of a month, a single month. And that's very unusual for me. I feel like everybody kind of fluctuates here and there, but that was just pretty substantial. And typically when I would gain a little bit of weight, I'm able to work on eating better, exercise, things like that, and I can kind of push it back off. I did that. Those normal things that I would do did not work. And so I went to more drastic measures. I started changing my diet, researching things, trying new diets, new ways of eating. I also worked with a personal trainer in a gym. I worked with a personal trainer at home. I did a lot of different things, and I just felt like I was really exhausting all of my options and nothing was working. It was so bizarre. I even cut sugar and anything unhealthy out of my diet, and I would not drop a single pound. What it would do instead is, if I was being so diligent about it, I would not be gaining weight. But then the second that I wasn't insane about it, I would just continue kind of gaining weight, which was just crazy. During that time, I started having these other symptoms popping up as well. So I was kind of struggling with that. I would share it here and there on my This Crazy Life channel. Actually, during a sit down video where I was sharing a Christmas haul, I believe, one of my subscribers messaged me and said, "Hey, you really need to get your thyroid checked. I think you might have Hashimoto's because your thyroid looks very enlarged." She was a nurse also, so I think she saw a lot of this stuff. She said my thyroid looked enlarged, and also just from hearing the symptoms that I was sharing, she was like, it just kind of lines up. So sure enough, I went to a natural doctor within like that next month, and he tested me for all the things and said, yes, I do have Hashimoto's. So that was really great to get answers, and he was able to help me through a few things, but not everything. And so I ended up changing doctors maybe like a year later, and I went to another doctor, and he was kind of again like able to help me with some of the symptoms but not everything. And nobody at this point had been able to help me with the weight gain, which isn't the biggest deal, but also it's just a struggle, Then I felt like I was kind of starting to make a little headway. He had put me on like a natural medicine, and then 2020 happened and everything kind of shut down. I stopped seeing him, and it was just a whole thing. Fast forward to the beginning of 2021, and I was just kind of getting in a bad place. And so I went to a Western doctor, asked him to just put me on some kind of medication, just get me some help. He was like, great, yeah, I'll do that. And then he tested me, confirmed I had Hashimoto's, and then was like, well, I'm gonna have to refer you to a specialist. And I was like, okay. But we were in the process of moving, and so I wasn't able to go see that specialist. So it was just kind of up and down, going from this doctor to that doctor for several years and trying a lot of things on my own during that time. And I felt like nowhere was kind of getting me to where I needed to be. It wasn't ever getting me back to any sort of normal. It was just every day was a struggle with it. And so we end up moving here. I was actually recommended another doctor by another subscriber here. I went to her for a while, and again, like I felt like I was starting starting to make headway. And then that's actually when my dad passed away unexpectedly back in the beginning to mid 2022. And then that entire year was just a year of survival. It was very difficult. And later on that year, I think because of that, and also because of just my Hashimoto's not being figured out, I got into a very, very, very low place. That's when I decided to do the AIP diet. Now, if you're unfamiliar with AIP stands for autoimmune protocol. Basically, it's an anti-inflammatory diet. It is very strict. You cannot have eggs, you can't have dairy, you can't have nuts, seeds, what else? You can't have any nightshades, so like no peppers, including spices, so like no taco spices or fajita, anything like that, none of that stuff. There are just so many things. It's been a while since I've done that, so I can't think of all this stuff. No grains, including corn, even gluten-free. Oh, and no sugar. So it took me 3 weeks of doing that very, very diligently before I lost a single pound. It was like once I started to lose that and I started to actually feel better, I could feel it healing me from the inside. And it was incredible because prior to that, I would wake up in the morning feeling like I got hit by a train. It was awful before that. It had just gotten to such a low point. I was dealing with a lot of depression. Also, I'd been dealing with a lot of insomnia and stuff, which was kind of crazy because I was always tired, but then I couldn't sleep. So it was just a weird kind of mix. After doing AIP for, I would have to go back and think, I think I did it for like 4 or 5 months very diligently. And then from then I kind of went into eating more paleo, which is almost like a lighter version of AIP. And that went pretty well. But then as soon as I wasn't extremely diligent again, like I just slowly started kind of gaining that weight back again. And so it was the beginning of this year, so 2024, I was again kind of getting into a low place and just struggling with a lot of things, not feeling very well. I went to a doctor and she was like, okay, I can give you this medication. And then she wanted to do more labs, and it was just kind of a whole thing. And it was very emotional with me because I felt like up and down with going to different doctors and feeling like they can kind of help me, but then not. And then no one can kind of figure out, how to, I don't know. It was a very just roller coaster, I would say. And I feel like if you've gone through any kind of health issue, I feel like so many people share that because there's 1,000 things that can be going on with you, and doctors have to pinpoint exactly what it is. And it might be different. Like if I have Hashimoto's, it might be completely different than when someone else has it. Like they will feel different things. They have to do different things to combat that. I mean, the doctors have their work cut out for them for sure. It was definitely a roller coaster, and just after that appointment with her, I got so sad that night and I was like, that's it. Like I have to do something. I have to figure this out myself. And that's when the next day I decided I was going to try keto. I had tried keto years ago, probably in 2019, maybe 2018. I did it with Kyle for a few weeks. I didn't get any kind of results. I didn't feel great on it also, but I was doing, I guess, more of like dirty keto where you ate a lot of bacon, a lot of cheese and like that kind of thing. And I don't feel like I was getting a lot of nutrients. Whereas this time I researched it a bit more and I decided to do keto, but do it in a better way. So I do kind of what I call clean keto. And I think that is officially a thing, but basically I am more mindful of the meats that I'm eating, like that they're grass fed or they're just of higher quality. Now I am very much a perfectionist and I can get really roped into that in my mind. But over the years, I've really worked on kind of letting go a little bit. And so with that, I've kind of tried to protect my keto journey and not get roped into, oh, if this is not 100% grass fed, I can't eat it. I'm aiming for that, but I'm accepting imperfections, if that makes sense. But my biggest thing with this is I have been focusing on eating a lot of low carb vegetables with clean meats and things like that. Now I have done dairy free and gluten free actually mostly over the last several years. I would say that's mostly been my diet over the last several years. Specifically, gluten has made me not feel the greatest, but I haven't really focused on that so much during keto. Naturally, I'm pretty much gluten free with keto. I have been having some dairy and I haven't been finding that it's been affecting me so much when I get higher quality dairy. So anyway, all that to say, I have now lost 36 pounds, and I definitely still have more that I plan to go, but I've been doing this since like the beginning of February, and now it is, I can't even think, it's May. So I've done it for a few months, but the other thing that I've done with it is I've been doing clean keto, and then I've also been doing intermittent fasting. Those two things together have been so helpful. Like, they have worked so well. I'm not as hungry when I'm doing keto because you're having a lot of higher fats, you're not having sugar crashes, anything like that. And then again, I'm doing clean keto, so I'm eating a lot more vegetables. I will have maybe 3 cups of vegetables with some taco meat or something like that. And that'll be what I have for dinner. And it just kind of depends what I eat, but definitely giving a focus to adding in a lot of low carb veggies, a lot of salads, things like that. That has definitely helped as well. And then I'm not crazy strict on the intermittent fasting. Like, if I'm starving at 9 o'clock, I will have something. I'm not just gonna be like, no, I have to wait till 11. But typically I will eat lunch and then I will eat dinner, and then I won't eat past that. And I try not to snack a ton in the middle. And that way it just kind of gives my body the chance to digest the food and not have to focus on digesting all day long. So my eating window kind of goes from usually around noon, sometimes 11, sometimes 1, to like 6 or 7 in the evening. And then past that, I won't eat anything until lunch the next day. And that has just worked so well. Now, something that has been weird is, like, there was 1 month that I did not lose anything, and I was still eating keto, I was still doing intermittent fasting, and I don't know what was going on, but I decided to pause on keto for 3 days, and then I went right back to it. And during those 3 days, I didn't go crazy, but I ate carbs. I just kind of ate more normal, I guess. And then when I went back, I again started losing that weight again. And so I actually am just today, I'm coming back off of a pause. I had like a 3-day pause because I was having a whole week where I didn't lose anything. I took a 3-day pause, and now I'm back to keto, and I'm expecting that it'll kind of continue, because I feel like when you start to plateau, you almost need to like shock your body back, like, hey, chill, it's fine, we can keep going. And that's just what's worked for me very well. I will also say I have felt so much better. So aside from the weight loss, I have just felt so much better. I've been feeling more energy. I've been feeling a lot less inflammation. Like, I'm not feeling sore joints all the time. It's just been overall such a huge blessing. So I am extremely grateful for this. Now, looking forward, I don't know how long I'll be on keto. I don't think it'll be a lifetime thing, but it might be a thing that I can go off and eat kind of gluten-free, dairy-free, and just generally healthy. And then if my weight starts to creep up, or if I'm not feeling well, I can go back to it and do a little reset on my body. I can even go back and do AIP, although AIP is a lot more difficult than keto because it's just so much more restrictive. So anyway, I share all of this just, one, because I do get a lot of questions about it, and I really haven't talked about it a whole lot. I just shared a little bit in a recent This Crazy Life video, but whenever you share things like this, one, you do get I will get so many sweet, kind, thoughtful comments, but there is always another side to the internet, and you also will get a lot of unkind comments. And those comments, like, I've learned to deal with a lot of the rudeness and all that kind of stuff a lot better over the years after being on YouTube for like 6 years, but it never is fully like, you always feel a little bit of it, And so because this is just such like a sensitive topic, I had chosen to kind of keep this one a little bit quiet, not share it so much. I think at this point I'm feeling okay to share it, and I'm hoping that it can help someone, because I know when I'm struggling with things, it's so helpful to know that someone else is going through something similar, or that someone else has found something that works, and hopefully I can try that, or it can just give me hope, like, okay, I can find my answer. Maybe it won't be the same as hers, but it'll be something. And so my hope in sharing this, that it can help several of you, I'm hoping. If you have any questions, I feel like this is kind of like a long story. I've been talking for a while. If you have any questions about clean keto, intermittent fasting, Hashimoto's, anything, let me know in the comments, and I'll do my best to get back to everybody. One thing I did want to say and share is, before all of this, I never used cookbooks really. Like, I just had either family recipes, or I would just make up recipes, right? Like, just be in the kitchen, just feel inspired with this and make up recipes recipes. And then after finding out I had Hashimoto's and trying all these different diets, I started to actually have a lot of food anxiety because it's amazing to go on the internet and overwhelming because somebody will tell you, oh my gosh, eating keto is the right way for our body. No, eating plant-based is the right way for our body. Eating paleo is the right way for our body. We need raw milk and dairy. And like you have all of these contradicting ideas and they all have evidence to support them. So it's like you start to feel, oh my gosh, I don't know. Should I be eating plant-based or should I be eating keto or should I be eating this? Like you have so many different options and everything is supported and you kind of just start to feel lost. And so that's kind of how I started to feel. And then after trying so many different diets and so many different ways of eating, I just kind of have struggled in the kitchen a little bit more because it's not like your traditional way of cooking. And so with that, whenever I would do these diets, it would be kind of hard to figure out what to eat. And so I have gotten more into cookbooks over the last few years, but I found that I'm pretty picky on them because I don't want a cookbook that has 20 ingredients for a recipe or that takes, first you have to do this and then this step and then this step and then this. And it's like, okay, that's great. But I have 3 busy kids at home and a husband and I work and it's like, I don't have time or the mental capacity to do all this stuff. So I want very simple, easy, but enjoyable meals. And so anyway, when I first started keto, these were the 2 books that I found that really have helped me. I have tried so many recipes from them and they've been super beneficial. So I'll link them below, but this first one is the Easy 5-ingredient ketogenic cookbook. And this one is just awesome. I feel like this one I might have used the most. I don't know. I probably used both of them the most, but this one does not have a bunch of pictures, just a few here and there, but it's very, very basic, like very simple. This one does have a bit more ingredients, but nothing insane. It's like probably 10 ingredients and under for everything. And it's just very simple. Oh, it says 5 ingredients, but they don't include like salt, pepper, water, and they don't include oil. So for the most part, yeah, it's like 5 ingredients. Anyway, then this one, Squeaky Clean Keto. This book is cool because it is gluten-free, which I feel like the other one is probably unofficially too because you're not eating a lot of gluten on keto, but also this one is dairy-free. This I would say is like a more true clean keto cookbook, but both of them are really pretty good. Now this one has pictures on, I believe, all the pages. Yeah, which I really love. Like that's really inspiring to be like, oh, I could be eating that. Okay, I'll make that. By the way, this one right here is so good. Luke actually went and got my cookbook and made this for me one day, and ever since it's been like a family favorite for breakfast. There are just so many different amazing recipes in these cookbooks. If you are interested in trying keto, I can't recommend these 2 enough. There have been some others that I've tried, but these are the really like the 2 that really stick out to me. Anyway, I feel like now at this point I'm just rambling. I'm kind of excited to talk about this finally because I have kept very mostly just pretty quiet on the whole subject, but I have been reading your comments and your messages and it's just made me feel really happy to get so much support from so many of you and I'm grateful for that. And I've been telling you guys I'm going to talk about this more in depth and kind of explain what I've been doing. But like I said, if you have any questions, let me know in the comments. Things are going really well right now and I hope that they continue. It's been a struggle for sure, but like I said, if you've had any health issues, that's just kind of the path. Back when I was 15, I got really sick with a different autoimmune disease or disorder, I don't know what you call it, and I actually missed my entire sophomore year of high school. That was another I think that's where my struggle with going to a bunch of different doctors started because it was like I would go to one doctor, not find answers, go to another doctor, not find answers, go to a different doctor, not find answers. And like I ended up having to go to the Children's Hospital down in Utah. And it was just like a year of awfulness that ended up going into remission. And over the years, I've kind of had some symptoms of that sneak back in, but not permanently. So I'm so grateful for that all the time. But dealing with health struggles is just an ongoing trial. And so I've felt so happy and so thankful to finally find something that's manageable and doable that actually has made me feel so much better and so much closer to how I used to feel all the time. So anyway, I guess that's all I have to say about that. But yeah, stay tuned for next week's video because Kyle and I have a really so exciting announcement. I cannot wait. We're actually going to be sharing a little bit about it in Monday's video as well over on This Crazy Life, so you can kind of learn more about it there too. But we are so beyond excited for this next chapter. I feel like it fully is like a new chapter in our lives, and I cannot wait to share with you guys. So anyway, thanks so much for hanging out with me, and I will see you in the next one. Bye guys.